What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Adobe Photoshop Masterclass course. We are continuing on the layers section with different types of layers. This right here is going to be crucial. It honestly will apply more to basically your use throughout the program as you go, but we got to familiarize you with particular layers, right? And we got to familiarize you with the different types, not just move that accidentally. But pretty much what I want to walk through is, first off, of course, we've done an explanation of layers. They appear down here. Everybody knows it, but there's different types. So let's start breaking stuff down. We clearly know that there is a transparent layer, one that doesn't have anything in the background. We notice that the checkers sort of respond to that. And there are solid layers. We know that the white is a solid layer. If we untick it, it does show transparent because there's nothing behind it. But a white is a solid layer. But they're just called layer 1, layer 2. There's no specification. The way we know is because the checkered marks. So anything with the checkered marks, as we see here, that's a transparent layer. And anything, this obviously, we don't see the checkered marks. That's not a transparent layer. So pretty much that is already two different type of layers right there. Now, also what you have is a shape layer. That right there, if we click here, we see that that has a extra little, box next to it. And actually, it is a shape layer. We know that if we double click it, right, and pull this color thing over, we know that if we actually go here and double click it, we can change the color live, which you cannot do on, for example, a solid layer or a transparent layer. You cannot just change the color of an object. For example, this arrow right here is an object, but it's on a transparent layer, or it has a transparent background. We can't just click this and just change the the color of it just so easily. Whereas if we click either the rectangle 1 or rectangle 1 copy, we have full color customization over it. It even does it live on the side to show us what we're doing based on the fact that that's a shape layer. We created it through the shape tool. So there are little benefits to creating shape layers. Alternatively, we know that we have a third type of one here, the one that says the T next to it. T doesn't appear next to our transparent layer down here or our solid layer, right? But it appears next to Title 1 and Title 1 copy. To be honest, this is confusing. Let's go ahead and I'm out here making shapes. Let's just go ahead and call this Title 2. All right? So pretty much we've got Title 1 and we've got Title 2. And let me literally click Title 2 and press Control T, bring that down a little bit, whatever the case may be. Boom, boom, boom. Easy peasy. Size that up. Nice. We got Title 1, we got Title 2. Sorry, that was confusing me a bit. But basically, you've got the T next to it, which means, obviously, that's a text layer. Nice, straightforward. They really don't try and make it hard on you guys, right? So T represents text layer, which means at all times those remain customizable. We could click that and say title or no title, right? You could decide whatever you want, basically. So those remain customizable, whereas these normal layers do not. And on top of that as well, there is a further level of uncustomizable layer because actually these layers here, which at first glance in comparison to rectangle and titles don't seem customizable, they actually are. So for example, if we wanted to, let's say we wanted to just get this brush right here, we go to the paint bucket tool and we wanted to change the color to a solid green, right? We could get the paint tool, come over here and click, and that would change the color. However, I want to introduce you guys to smart layers, which adds another element of locking to it. And they're really layers that haven't been messed with too much yet. So you can convert a normal layer to a smart layer by right-clicking and going to Convert to Smart Object, which turns it into a smart layer, which means actually we cannot just easily customize it. So essentially, you see that now I'm using the same tool. I come over, I hover above, but when I click to change the color, it says that the smart object must be rasterized before proceeding. Edit contents will no longer be available. Rasterize the smart object ? And what rasterize means is bring it down to a level where we can customize it. We can actually do stuff to it. It's not an impervious layer. And again, if I press Control V a couple times, we go back to creating it into a smart layer. And then I press Control Z again, rather. I was pressing Control Z. It turns it to not a smart layer. So currently, we've covered title layers. We've covered transparent layers. We've covered smart layers. We've covered shape layers. And essentially, the list goes on and on. So those right there are a couple that I wanted to familiarize yourself with right off the bat. We're going to be emphasizing these and going over them as we go. Of course, you will see these 100 more times throughout the course. Let's keep cracking with your basic understanding of the different layer types and the different sort of stuff you should expect to be working with throughout the course of the course.